People now are proud of being soulless, of being like NPCs, of being cold, of feeling ruthless, but in a harsh, toxic, narcissistic way. And society celebrates it. And empathetic people like you and me question the world, society, and these individuals and reminisce, thinking that things were easier in a different time. And it's all a load of bullshit. And speaking of which, if you're tired of fluff and fake positivity, etc., I want to level up and have the uncomfortable truths and conversations in the process. Join my free community, the No Bullshit Society. The link's in the description and in the pinned comment just down below. When I say soulless, I genuinely mean that. They're dead behind the eyes. They're more fake than ever before, more self-absorbed. They're not really here. I spoke to somebody recently who sadly lost a family member. This is exactly what they said. They said, I loved this person. I loved that individual. But they never knew me. For 50 years, they never knew me. They never bothered to know me. They never bothered to actually go deep. They were quite soulless. Now, God rest that person's soul, but at the same time, how much does that sound like the relationships you have with people? Whether it's your family, whether it's your so-called friends, whether it's that partner you're having a relationship with. When I say soulless, I'm not saying we've got to be good little Christians, good little Muslims, Jews, whatever. I'm saying we've got to have depth. We are having a physical experience, but there is emotion, there is being deep within us, and people have lost that. And people are proud of it as well. There was a time where affairs, divorces, having like adultery like this was frowned upon. It was seen as so disrespectful. It was seen as almost like a crime. But now, men and women are celebrated. You can leave your family tomorrow, your child, your spouse behind, and go on a rampage. Go out to bars and clubs and post it on social media. Go and sleep with whoever you want. And guess what? You can. If you have the money especially, you can do so. You can celebrate your marriage falling apart. And other people around you will do so. And of course, you can be on the receiving end. You come home from work one time and they've gone. They've left a note, or they've just said, I can't do this anymore. Meanwhile, they've been cheating, having affairs, and destroying and breaking your heart all along. When I was young, I really struggled in my teenage years, because at my schools and everything, I felt people were growing up a bit too fast for me. And I wasn't too sheltered or anything. It never appealed to me. When I was 16, people were saying, like, we've got to go out and drink now. We've got to go to all the bars and the clubs. We've got to, pull women. We've got to do this, that. And that was never my vibe. I was more relaxed. I preferred video games. I preferred house parties where we could speak and, relate. But everybody was just about doing what was cool and trendy. And teenagers go through that. But people celebrated and were proud of the soulless, dangerous activities they were doing. Whether it was drugs, whether it was parties, whether it was very strange activities in the bedroom. It was celebrated. And it was the norm. It went past the controversial. And I'm not saying that I'm super conservative, but now it's okay to get on a webcam and take naked photos of yourself as a woman and become a millionaire from it. Literally, There are countdowns for teenage women until they turn 18 so they can start these accounts. And for many men to spend their hard-earned money, or whatever money they have, on basically a bit of code on a phone or a computer. We celebrate vulgarity. We celebrate being disgusting. We celebrate as a society negativity, shame, disrespect, things that are sacrilegious even. Why? Because we live in a fast culture, a fast food culture that pedestals degenerates, that celebrates the controversial, that encourages and indoctrines young and even older people to do the opposite of what they think is right. And when you call it out, and when you question it, and when you have morals and values, you are the scapegoat. You are stuck in the dinosaur times. You are the problem. And I'm here to tell you that you're not. I remember being around all these people at school, telling me to take these drugs, telling me to do these things. And I basically said no. And one very manipulative, very toxic friend at the time said to me, "We're going to stop inviting you to events. We're going to stop telling you to come." I said, "Do it. I don't need you. I don't need that." I saved my life and soul from that. How many times have you been backed in a corner to do something you disagree with? How many times have you had to do something that makes you feel dirty and sick? How many times have you had to do something to appease a loud, egotistical, egomaniac so you wouldn't rock the boat? Maybe you've lost count. I certainly have. And it's getting worse. We can look at society, we can look at OnlyFans and all this stuff, but let's look at you. Let's look at your world. Let's look at the people around you. How many times have you said people have changed? How many times have you said you don't recognize the people you're around anymore? How many times have you thought you can't believe it? Seriously. You've said something about someone in your family, friends. "I can't believe they did that. I can't believe they said it." Well, now's the time to start believing it. Now's the time to stop being shocked and realize that they are proud of their soullessness. They are proud of the betrayal. They're proud of the abuse. They are proud of the disrespect. Why? Because it is celebrated in the sick, twisted world we live in. No one second guesses. No one thinks anymore. And that's the difference between you and them. That conscience, that voice does not exist. For you to stop stealing, or not steal in the first place from a supermarket, for you to not commit adultery, for you to say no to a drug, a voice is inside you saying, it's not worth it. It's going to hurt you. And you're better than that. Call that your soul, if you want. These people don't have that voice. Or if they did have that voice, they have pushed it so far down and suppressed it so much that it's not a voice anymore. It's a muffled individual wrapped up in rope and suffocating. This is the serious issue here. It is easier to listen to the masses. You can do something controversial and some idiots online will agree with you. You could do something controversial and, think that you're appeasing others when actually they've encouraged your downfall. There was an individual I knew who was doing well in his life, had all the boxes ticked, good house, partner, child, was going places, but his sick, twisted, soulless friends manipulated him because they were jealous. They wanted his life, they wanted his partner, they wanted his money, they wanted everything he worked hard for. But due to his fragility of the ego, due to his stupidity and naivety, he sold his soul for what? They said, you should go out more. He did. They said, you're not appreciated by your partner. You should talk to other women. He did. He fell for it. Hook, line and sinker. And if you look at this person, you would say he changed. When actually, here's the harsh truth. He never had a soul to begin with. He ticked boxes, he did these things, and that's how these people do it. They do these things anyway, but they were soulless to begin with. They were ready to be sold down the river, sold the wrong ideas. They were ready to stab others in the back. They were ready to self-sabotage. But ironically, we live in a time where you self-sabotage and you get a brand deal. You get millions of views on TikTok. You get celebrated. You get encouraged for being an arsehole, for being a narcissist. And it's not just women, it's men, it's both. Never once did that person who threw it all away for what? For trash, for the blessings he had, did he say, am I making a mistake here? And his close friends were in his ear. Your family could be in your ear. Your partner can be. One of the most damaging realizations I had was being in a toxic relationship and that soulless individual trying to twist narratives, twist words against me, to self-sabotage and destroy the things I've worked hard towards, the things I built. It's a vortex, it's a black hole of despair and pain, and you want to get the hell out of it. Have a soul, have a conscience, listen to yourself, trust your gut, believe in yourself, and distance yourself from the soulless. Yes, it's heartbreaking. Yes, it's sad to see them, but you will become soulless. You will lose your being. They will suck the life out of you by association. And it's got nothing to do with religion. If you are religious, for God's sake, read your scripture. It will say it there. And even if they're religious, it's not your place to save them. You're not the martyr. Save yourself right now. This is your warning sign. Because if you carry on listening to the bullshit, that's what's going to sell you down the wrong path. And speaking of which, join the No Bullshit Society. It's free. We have these uncomfortable conversations and truths to protect yourself and level up. Over 500 people are moving in the right direction. Not through conspiracy, but through personal truth. You can do the same. It's free to join. The link's in the description and the pinned comment down below. It's ironic because after I walked away from that toxic relationship, I went back to the young man I always was destined to be. Far more introverted despite being on YouTube. Much more simpler life, a peaceful life, simple choices, simple pleasures. And that's the way I want to be. And I've grown and I've left people behind. And they've left me behind. And that's okay. I've had friends distance from me because they don't want to see me progress. They don't like me because I say it as it is. I call them out. Fine. I've had family slowly step back, and that's okay. Let them step back. Let them go. I wish them all the best. You weren't right for me, and I'll never be good enough for the wrong person. And of course, relationships which are in the past, and I'm in a place with somebody who emotionally has the depth and the soul to push me to be better, and I do the same to them. So listen to that voice. Don't suppress it. I don't care if you're young or old. Say no. Learn to say no. Learn to cry for help. Don't just moan and complain and doom. Do something about it. Keep boundaries. Set boundaries. Push away. Not through confrontation or violence, but through just a simple press of a button. Decline the call. Block. Whatever. That's the key. That's the power. You're not doing this to save your life. You're doing it to save your soul.